What's up everyone, it's Kara Corey here, and basic season is upon us. We're now in September and it's time to bring out all my favorite pumpkin goodies. So what I'm going to share with you today is a super easy recipe for pumpkin donuts, only requiring 5 ingredients that you should have laying around your house. So to get started, we are going to make donuts using a donut pan. However, don't fear if you don't have a donut pan, which, by the way, I believe I just bought this at Bed Bath & Beyond, or you can get them off Amazon. But if you don't have a donut pan, use a muffin tin and just make them into pumpkin muffins. There's no issues with that. The recipe will still be the same. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm gonna use some non-stick spray here to spray my pan. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and set that aside for now. This one's super quick. So all you're gonna do is take a bowl here and we're gonna start by adding a whole entire box of cake mix. So if you don't have this laying around at home, I usually do, but you can use spice, you can use white, vanilla, whatever flavor you want. But I'm gonna use the spice because I think it's gonna help give it that extra pumpkin type flavor. Next thing we're gonna add is our MTS Whey and pumpkin pie. If you guys haven't picked this up yet, now is your time. This is one of my favorite proteins. This one's got 2.5 grams of fat, 1.5 carbs, and 25 grams of protein in a full scoop. So awesome macros on the pumpkin pie protein. And we're gonna add 2 full scoops of that. This one tastes really good too, just as a shake. Next ingredient we're gonna add is a full can of pure pumpkin. This should be a staple in your household. Pure pumpkin is such a great source of nutrition. Extremely high, one serving is extremely high in vitamin A at 250% of the RDA for what you're required. So having a serving of pumpkin will give you all the vitamin A you need for the day. It's gonna give you some vitamin C as well as a great source of fiber. So super healthy for you. We're gonna dump in the whole can. I always like to mention, if you're not someone that buys pumpkin, make sure when you go to the store you actually buy pure pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling. That's a totally different nutritional profile if you're buying pumpkin pie filling, and it will taste much different. But pumpkin functions in a lot of recipes as a fat source. So when you add pumpkin to a recipe, it makes it super moist and you don't add all the fat to it. We're gonna add some vanilla extract. And I'm just gonna pour a couple teaspoons in there. You can measure it, but a couple teaspoons of that. And then to season it off is the pumpkin pie spice. So if you are using the spice cake mix, you probably don't need a lot of this, but I love spicy pumpkin flavor, so I'm still gonna add it. I'm gonna do 2 full teaspoons of this. And I just bought it, so it was filled to the brim. And we wing it, like I usually do. All right, so now that we've got that all added in there, I'm gonna go ahead and just stir this all up together. With the stirring process, it's gonna look really dry, but just make sure to keep stirring it, just be patient, and blend that pumpkin all the way in. So once you've got your batter all mixed in, it's gonna be nice and thick and fluffy. It does take a few minutes to get it all blended in well. We're gonna go ahead and just start adding this to your donut pan or your muffin pan, and I suggest filling it up about halfway. In the donut pan, they're a little bit shallow, so you don't want to overfill it. I'm just going to kind of scoop some into each. And then I'm going to use this knife to kind of spread it out and make it more donut-like. So my donut pan holds 6 donuts, and it's the only donut pan I have. You can see the batter, there's a ton of it still, so this is going to make for you several donuts or muffins. We're gonna go ahead and place this in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes or so at 350 degrees. All right guys, my first batch of donuts came out of the oven and I've let them cool on this wire rack for about 5 minutes. So I've got my next set in the oven, and this recipe is gonna make about 18 to 24 donuts. I went a little bit on the thicker side, and let me tell you, these donuts turned out super thick, dense, fluffy. They smell amazing. So this will make a big batch of donuts for you. I'm gonna do, this is optional, these will taste delicious just as is, but there's a couple things you can do to top them. One idea would be to melt a little butter on top, and you could sprinkle some cinnamon and stevia on top to just sweeten it. You could eat them plain, or you could do what I'm about to show you, which is just to make like a protein glaze to put on top. You want to make it a little bit higher in protein. I personally love my donuts frosted. So I already mixed up my protein frosting here in this bowl, and all that consists of is some Greek yogurt. You can use any variety. I'm using a plain Greek yogurt, and what I've added to it is half a scoop, again, of the pumpkin pie MTS Whey, and then I've added in there a little bit of better stevia, English toffee drops. You can use Splenda, stevia, whatever you want. These drops make it very sweet. Added a little bit more vanilla and a little pumpkin pie spice and some cinnamon, just to give it all the fall flavors and a nice icing glaze. So I'm just gonna use that to, let's see, which one do I want? Glaze this guy up. And you guys are gonna wanna store these donuts, even if you don't frost them, you're gonna wanna store them in the fridge just because they'll last a bit longer, but they'll also freeze nicely too. So if you make a big batch and you don't want to eat all 18 to 24 donuts at once, you could certainly just not frost them and throw them in the freezer. A little bit more. It's pretty good to me. There you have it, delicious fall pumpkin donut, super easy ingredients with some good nutritional value to it too. So I hope you guys give this recipe a try. I'm gonna take a little taste. Oh my goodness. You hear how moist it is? You just love that word, moist. So good. You guys need to make this. Titties approved. We'll see you in the next video.
Amazing.
Amazing.